Salut à toutes et à tous et bienvenue dans Story Série saison 4, épisode 2.
We've been expecting you, Mr. Freeman. Welcome home.
Cette semaine, on croit aux monstres, aux sorciers, à la magie, mais aussi au courage et à la quête de justice. On lâche prise et on laisse Lovecraft Country nous emmener dans l'Amérique ségrégationniste des années 50 et suivre les aventures d'Atticus, Laetitia et leur famille dans un monde où tout est possible, même le pire. Adapté des nouvelles de Matt Ruff, édité en 2016, Lovecraft Country reprend l'univers de l'auteur HP Lovecraft et lui tord le cou. Là où l'écrivain culte ne cachait pas ses convictions racistes, Matt Ruff se sert du genre horrifique et surnaturel pour dénoncer une Amérique violente et xénophobe.
On the creation of niggas.
Now that's one of Lovecraft's we don't hear mentioned often.
En créant une série profondément politique, la showrunneuse Misha Green et ses producteurs, Jordan Peele et J.J. Abrams, racontent notre époque, celle de l'injustice, de la peur et du meurtre de George Floyd et de dizaines d'Afro-Américains tués par des policiers. Grâce à la magie d'Internet, nous avons pu interviewer les acteurs et actrices de la série, nous à Paris et eux aux États-Unis. Toutes et tous sortent bouleversés de cette expérience où leur voix a enfin été entendue, à commencer par Jonathan Majors, déjà brillant dans le dernier Spike Lee sorti cette année, The Five Bloods.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Getting used to this thing.
Yeah. I love your book in the back.
Hey, there you go. Can you tell me a little bit about your reaction to reading the script when you received it?
Oh, wow. When I first read Lovecraft Country, because the only thing I got to read off top was the pilot. And my real response was, no way. No way are they going to make this story, you know? And for many reasons. One is, there's actual monsters in this thing. And then secondarily, and I think chiefly, was the fact that they, in the script, made the hero family an African-American family, which is something that we have not seen. And then furthermore, you make the hero, or you're looking at the film from the point of view of a young black man, you know, and this young black man isn't a drug dealer, isn't, you know, he's none of the stereotypical things that seem to be palatable. So that just blew my mind.
But I love Pope stories. I love that the heroes get to go on adventures in other worlds, defy insurmountable odds, defeat the monster, save the day. Little Negro boys from the south side of Chicago, the only tourists that get to do that.
So do you feel any responsibility being this actor doing this role and knowing that, you know, people are watching and you might be changing something in television right now?
Wow, I mean, yeah, there's always a responsibility when you get up there. You know, when you hit that and you know it's going to be put into people's houses. You know, this was not just a responsibility. It didn't just have that factor that all projects I've been part of have. There's a bit of honor. I felt honored to just in this time, just in these, you know, these next few months, you know, to be the visual, to be the tangible proof of authenticity, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and to give a certain amount of courage and to hopefully embolden, you know, not just young black men, but black people, not just black people, but Americans.
Didn't you say it was called Lydia's?
It's in the right place. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Book can't refuse your service.
Or spit in your water glass.
Good afternoon. We were just driving by, thought we'd stop in and have some lunch.
You know, I've always had the feeling that through your career, you've had like a kind of a mission of exploring America's traumas. Lovecraft Country is one of them, but The Wire, The Night of, When They See Us. Do you feel like you have kind of a mission through your job as an actor to tell those traumas and to educate?
Wow, thank you for that question, and to even acknowledge that, first of all. Thank you. And yes is yes for me. I realized early on in my career that I did not have to be here. This is an opportunity given to me, and with opportunity comes responsibility.
Yeah.
At least I believe, and I've always quoted someone who I respect a lot, Nina Simone, and she once said that it is an artist's duty to reflect the times in which they find themselves. And I couldn't think of a better way to use my instrument and my platform. I don't get the opportunity to pass for anything else. I'm a Black man in America. You know what I mean? So I take it as a great badge of honor to have the opportunity to tell stories from people that look like me from our perspective.
Blackbird, you ain't ever gonna fly.
Hey, Montrose.
What the hell y'all doing here? We're here to save you. I'll save my damn self. I ain't need y'all coming for me.
We always wonder why a show is on air, at what point, and what does it say about our world.
If I had found you pissing in my woods like animals after dark, it would have been my sworn duty to hang every single one of you from them trees.
I think there's no accident that is very timely. There's no denying that it's very timely. Not accident. There's no denying that it's very timely. We're dealing with twin issues of the pandemic and twin monsters of the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd. And the question always is, what's the response? What are you going to do? What is as a country, what are we going to say? Are we going to stand and fight, or are we going to waffle and argue about the whether or not the masks are do good or not?
But the blacks are bad enough. They're smart. They're not smart. They're beasts. But they're clever enough to cause mischief. And they're persistent. Always sticking their noses where they don't belong.
To me, it's always about life. It's always about what the skin color is not important. The life is important. The children are important. People are important, and that's when what all these movies that we do are about.
Do you feel like this, being able to have this kind of message and to be part of this kind of generational and timely messages is one of the reasons why you might agree to a role?
Yes. And I mean, you know, I always I always want to do things that are conversions of purpose and paycheck. And I think that for me, Lovecraft is that.
All right now, making it shake. Dough and the flow and the game. Making it shake. Yeah, pie on the face.
I wanted to talk a little bit about your characters because whereas they come from a very obviously different social background, cultural background, they're still women fighting for the right to be women treated as human beings and having rights. So I wanted to know how you two approached your roles.
I guess there was a lot of research into the time period, the route from, for me, the route to emancipation, what happens after that, because I think a lot of the history, the African-American history, is really it's a cellular memory. It's in their bones, it's in their blood. And I think doing that research is really important and necessary. I think it was delving into a place where, you know, Wumi learned to love myself. Yeah. And where that kind of where that path came, like of accepting oneself and loving oneself and you know, not trying to change myself to fit into the world that, you know, that people, you know, tell me I don't fit into. So, you know, for Ruby, it was hard work. It was emotionally challenging because there was I understood it. I understood why she did what she did and she does what she does, because it's hard. It's hard being in this world as a Black woman.
I could never earn one of these, no matter how hard I tried. And you get one for doing nothing other than being born a man.
Not even a white man at that.
Christina's a very provocative character. She was difficult to live with because on the one hand, I loved and I was able to identify with like this oppressed woman just fighting to be seen, to be heard, to be empowered, to feel, to liberate herself. And I loved that about her. And and then I had to also deal with the way that she got those things, the decisions that she made, the choices that she made to get those things, right? And I have to, as an artist, not judge, just try and get to the truth.
Miss Braithwaite, you done this before?
It's my first time.
So these are very heavy, deep characters. Do you feel you've changed personally at the end of this journey?
Yeah, I don't think that if, as an artist, if you go into a role such as these and you're not changed at the end of it, then you haven't done your job.
You were brimming with love. As a boy, despite being afforded so little. If I ever made you feel there's nothing wrong with loving that much.
We need to shut up and rest.
That's the problem. I've been shutting up for far too long and hurt those I love. You, Hippolyta, Tick. I want you to show him more of that love I know is in you before it's too late.
All of the actors talked about a feeling of putting together a kind of a family on the set. And so I was wondering what kind of conversation did this show bring between you, all of you? What kind of ties did you create?
This show, I believe, probably is one of the deepest I've ever been at a job because of all the topics and the amount of darkness that we go into. Lovecraft woke up all of our trauma, things that we cannot get away from, things that's in our DNA that we don't think about on a daily basis, but we navigate from that point. It's in us, you know. The trauma from slavery is in us. The trauma from Jim Crow, that's in us, you know. That's in our DNA. It's in the fiber of our being. Do we think about it every day? No, but it's there.
Don't mind the others. Just because they don't want you here doesn't mean you're not supposed to be.
Do you think there is something therapeutic for you as a human being and as an actor being given this opportunity?
Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's also cathartic, you know. There are moments in the play, moments in the film, moments in the story where, you know, Atticus gets to come up against things that I, as an artist, and I, you know, more simply put, as a man, you know, came up against.
We're here, damn it. We have every right to be.
We're citizens. You're a veteran, for God's sake. Our money spends just as good as everyone else's.
You know, there are moments in my personal life where, you know, I wasn't the hero. You know, I wasn't as vulnerable, you know, as Atticus was. And so to experience certain moments again, you know, or to step into a moment that I know I will soon in my daily life step into through Atticus, was extremely cathartic, you know, and extremely emboldening, you know, because you have to tell the truth, you know, and the body knows no difference. The mind and heart know no difference between, you know, acting and living, you know, if you don't let it, you know, if you believe it. Yeah.
Story Série, c'est terminé. La semaine prochaine, on se retrouve avec une série comme vous n'en avez jamais vu auparavant. Ce sera la surprise. Allez, à la semaine prochaine.